let's jump right in. We appreciate everybody joining us today. We're super excited to be hosting another live webinar series. We love these because it gives us an opportunity to showcase some of the solutions that we're bringing to market, to talk to our dealer and integrator partners about how we can help them grow their business. And we're super excited today to really be covering a really great topic that I think we've touched on in a lot of different webinars, but we wanted to kind of bring all of our conversations around RMR and how that can impact your business and bring great value to your business into one webinar session. So we've got a whole host of Alibi team members, Robbie, Bryce, Jessica, and myself. I'm going to be the host with the most today. I'm going to let a lot of the smarter people do a lot of the talking about our solutions today as we deep dive into this subject. And before I jump in, first and foremost, thank you for spending an hour with us. Like I said, we have a lot to cover. We will probably take up the whole hour, and it all depends on Q&A at the end. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly. But more importantly, if you guys have questions during the session, use the Q&A functionality. I've got it pulled up. I'm going to help moderate. Like I said, I'm going to be relying on our folks to talk about the solutions and how it can benefit you from an RMR perspective. So I'll be monitoring that, and I'll pop in and ask the right questions at the right time. And if there's not a good place to fit in questions, we'll answer those at the end, okay? But again, Q&A, not chat, because that's what we're kind of moderating during the session. And as we talk about RMR, right, when we look at our time at seeing the security industry, we've been around for 30 years and we've seen tons of changes, right? I don't think that there's been a better time to be a security dealer and integrator from a revenue opportunity perspective. When people think about Alibi Security, we're obviously known for being an on-prem video security provider, and that is absolutely true. That's where we cut our teeth. That is our roots within the industry. But I think what we're going to showcase here today is that we're much more than that. And even with our traditional on-prem solutions, we've got some RMR opportunities built into that are super exciting. So when we talk about RMR, we're going to cover our Alibi Vigilant line and talk about cameras and recorders and how we can help you understand and tap into some of the built-in RMR opportunities within our traditional on-premise line. Then we're going to go into Alibi Cloud VS, which hopefully everybody's heard about our solutions, but we're going to showcase Alibi Cloud VS and what that means from an RMR perspective, as well as Alibi Hybrid Cloud, really our two key video security cloud-based solutions that can help you generate RMR. And then we're going to touch a little bit about access control. When you think about Alibi, you probably don't think a lot about access, but we sell a lot of access control. I want to talk to you about how video integration into that can really help you from an RMR perspective. And then finally, we're going to get into a little bit of a niche subject, which is retail loss prevention. We've got an exclusive partnership that leverages Alibi Vigilant gear and can produce some really powerful RMR for you as well. And then finally, we're going to kind of preview some functionality that we're building out with Immix, tied around Alibi Vigilant and then our two other cloud solutions. So it'll be a great session. We look forward to questions. We look forward to conversations with you. But more importantly, I'm going to turn it over to our team to start diving into the RMR equation. We're going to kick it off with Alibi Vigilant. And again, as we look at this puzzle here, we're going to fill in the gaps on the puzzle, the blank spaces on the puzzle as we go throughout, right? And it all is based on creating RMR and real value for your business and the foundation of Alibi Vigilant and how that plays a role in all of these solutions. So I'm going to hand it over to Robbie Thomas. He's going to deep dive into Alibi Vigilant and what that means to your business.
Good morning, everyone. First, let me say thank you for spending time with us. I know your time's valuable. To start with, as he mentioned, Alibi Vigilant is our core offering. It is an on-premise solution. It is NDAA compliant, and it runs from IP to analog, 4-channel boxes up to 128 channel boxes. All the latest and greatest features, including human and car analytics. But what most people don't realize is when we start thinking about RMR, you'll go to the next slide, Chris. We've built out a whole admin function that is cloud-based, that ties to every single one of our recorders. So this Alibi Cloud will enable you to offer service contracts that are more robust. It'll allow you to manage every single one of your customers from one portal. You'll be able to see if there's any problems with them from one portal. It'll be able to notify you when you need to step in, and it's really, really powerful. Most of our dealers, when they were with us from Alibi Witness, you know, our original line, to now, we didn't have a lot of that functionality. And as we moved into being NDAA compliant and we built out our Vigilant line, we really listened to our integrators, and we listened to them wanting to become recession proof, and we listened to them on what cost them money, and really took it to heart and created a solution that'll really differentiate them in the marketplace. If you'll go to the next slide. When we start thinking about the admin Alibi P2P solution, just know that you can literally have all your recorders on one portal. You can go in and turn on health monitoring to every single location. That health monitoring is going to then notify you, is the network offline? Are we having IP conflicts? Or maybe we're having stuff that's more dangerous for the customer, like illegal access attempts, or maybe the hard drive is failing or has failed. It allows you to call them, roll the truck, and know that there's a problem versus, you know, how a lot of companies do it. They don't know that the hard drive's failed. It's really hard for people to go in and individually check hundreds of boxes every month to make sure everything's working. This is all proactive, and it really differentiates you in the market. It really sets you up to offer a service contract, make RMR, but really be feature rich in that service contract. If you'll go to the next slide, Chris. Other things that it does that's different from everybody else is you'll get a notification and alerts when there are firmware updates available. We typically put out about 4 firmware updates a year. Those are usually based on feature improvements and security improvements, meaning everybody knows what type of time we're in, where hackers are always trying to find vulnerabilities. When those are discovered, maybe from AWS or Chrome or whomever, we all make change to update our systems that interface with theirs, and it makes everybody more secure. What's nice about ours is you can update them in batch. So if you have 200 locations, you can open up the mobile app and select them, and it updates the box and our cameras that are on each box. Very, very powerful. It also does not open up any ports. So you put it on your main portal, your main account, no ports are open. You share that to your customer. Your customer simply downloads the Alibi Vigilant mobile account app, and at the bottom it says register account. They put in their email and a password of their choosing, and now you tether the box to them. You could attach 20 boxes to that one customer as well. And then no matter where they go, whether they open up their CMS software, they open up the mobile app, or maybe they go into the browser, it gives them access to all of their locations. If you have an RMR service contract with them, let's say someone quits at that company, or maybe they're asked to leave, you don't have to go into each box and delete out that user. You simply go into the cloud portal, you find the user's name, you remove him from the system. He no longer has access to the 10 or 20 or however many boxes that he had access to right then. It's a lot easier for people to manage on-premise units. If they have technical problems, they'll call you. You don't have to have a separate spreadsheet with the address and the password and trying to log in to help them, which is what we saw in the past. No, you just simply pull up your admin portal, you log into the box, you run a log report to see what they're saying versus what the box is telling you it's seeing, and you can see if they just need technical support with education or maybe a minor adjustment, or if there's maybe a bigger ticket problem that they're noticing that you want to dig into to help them. That's all before you roll the truck. You know, when we talk to dealers, every time you roll the truck, it costs you money. You know, and each dealer will give you different numbers, but $250 a time is not uncommon, is what it costs them. So your ability to log in and see if there is a problem and verify and help the customer up front, it's huge. The amount of money it'll save you is almost insurmountable. And once our dealers got accustomed to this, they don't want anything else when they think on-prem. They still want the cloud management piece that it gives them. And it provides them a host of reasons for the service contract for the RMR. And that's really, really powerful. Next, if you'll go to the next slide.
Yeah, and I do just want to add on to that, right? This functionality is already built into the solutions you're selling. If you're selling Alibi Vigilant, you already have access to this cloud capability, right? And it's just turning that cloud capability and how you're thinking about managing your customers' gear when it's on premise at their site, and creating a hierarchy that you have access to, that you can easily manage that. So you think about, you know, the worst call you get is when a customer has had a system installed for 6 months and they go, oh, we had an incident happen and this camera wasn't working. Well, on the front end, when you sell that system, you can say, hey, look, I can check every one of your cameras every month for $299 per camera a month. Or if there are a couple critical cameras that you absolutely want to make sure are always on and always working, let's just check those. Right, so you determine the amount you want to charge them from a service contract perspective, but it just gives you the built-in ability to turn what we've already delivered to you from a cloud portal and management perspective into RMR, which is super exciting.
All right, and next I'd like to hand it over to Bryce Brendan. Bryce, if you want to kind of segue into the Alibi Cloud VS.
Yeah, thanks, Robbie. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all again. So to Robbie's point, you know, kind of staying on the central theme of, you know, Vigilant, which is really kind of our core product offering, right? So one thing that we're doing is we're actually going to be giving you a little bit more flexibility with that core product offering by actually taking our direct camera to cloud product, Alibi Cloud VS, and we're going to be integrating a lot of the cameras that you're already using, knowing, and love on the Vigilant side over to a direct camera to cloud model. And this is actually going to be just a simple firmware upgrade. So we will have about 15 to start new models coming very shortly. And you can actually just load the cloud firmware onto those devices, make them a cloud system without having to change anything about the hardware that you're already installing. Now, on the theme of RMR, it would be hard not to mention Cloud VS, right? So obviously, we're going to be talking about RMR, but one thing that we wanted to do as well was just highlight what are the other benefits as well to selling a fully cloud-hosted VMS in addition to earning RMR, right? Well, the first of this is going to be you're going to save some time on your installation, okay? Now, because it's a direct camera to cloud model, you take away a lot of the fail points, but you also take away a lot of what you have to configure while you're there on location. So the system itself, the only thing it needs to function properly are the cameras themselves, and then the cameras need to have access to the network. Traditionally over PoE, we have Wi-Fi options as well. But essentially, all you're doing while you're on location is you're taking that camera, getting it networked, associating it with your cloud account, and you move on. Okay, so some dealers have the false impression that they're going to have their lead tech go and install a cloud system, and they're going to have a lot of networking knowledge. It really couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually very idiot-proof, very plug and play, and you can actually just literally plug it in, associate with the account, move on. There's little to no configuration whatsoever while you're there on location, so you should save quite a bit of time. Now, another one that's even arguably bigger is minimizing your ongoing maintenance. Okay, so I mentioned previously, you're eliminating the moving components of the system, which in turn is going to get rid of a lot of those fail points, right? So you should have a lot less hardware failures. You also are not going to be hand-holding the system and having to keep it healthy and relevant long-term by doing things like firmware updating to get new features, right? Anything that system needs to stay healthy and relevant long-term will be happening on an automatic basis and will be handled by the cloud, not by you or not by the end user. Now, simple things like the ISP changing and the IP map changing, right? That could knock you offline. If you have an MVR, don't worry about that with cloud. You got a DHCP and IP get into that camera, you're good to go regardless of where that network connection is coming from, all right? Now, the goal of a cloud system is very much to give the keys to the end user and take off without them having to actually manage anything. And you can very much do that because it is so intuitive and user-friendly, okay? So you shouldn't be hand-holding your customers like you may have in the past, helping them pull incidents, reset passwords, silly little things. Those should really go away. And we also do have a reboot feature now. You can actually reboot cameras remotely through the software, which is, to be honest, one of the only things you would ever really have to do from a support standpoint. And it's also rare, but again, it's just another feature that's going to help you not have to go to the location. Now, the cloud will help you win some jobs that are either going to be extremely difficult for you to win without it or nearly impossible to win without it. And so if you have any complex requirements around network, the network of the camera, let's, for example, take like a compliance, let's say it's PCI compliance, HIPAA compliance, anything where the network is very locked down and you don't want to have to go in and deal with something like creating a VPN, cloud is going to be a really good fit. Okay, so think about, let's say, a retail chain. They can't have their cameras on the same network as their POS systems. Otherwise, they'll get dinged for not being non-PCI compliant. Well, cloud, we don't have any inbound traffic coming to that network whatsoever. There's no exposure to the outside world. You can simply sell cloud, install it, move on with no custom configuration. Now, also, if you need a certain number of days of storage, let's take cannabis or some medical facilities like pharmacies, for example, and the state or some other requirement is saying you legally have to have 90 days or whatever it is, it's much, much easier on the cloud because that's exactly how you sell it. You sell it by days. You don't have to go in and say, okay, let's do a custom resolution, FPS, compression rate to get that 90-day window. And then you also take away your exposure of an end user going in, tweaking a setting and, kind of making themselves SOL. Okay, now you don't have 90 days anymore, right? So cloud is just a much more safe bet anytime you're selling something where there is a compliance related issue to the number of days of storage you're going to have. So one of the bigger areas we're seeing a lot of growth in right now are customers that rapidly scale and grow over time. A couple of these could be franchise restaurants, multi-site medical facilities, self-storage facilities are big. Anything where the customer is going to start with a lower number of cameras and grow over time, cloud is going to be a lot easier for you to manage because you can just buy cameras, link them, and move on wherever you need them versus having to go in and worry about things like running out of channels on your system, running out of hard drive space, negatively impacting what's already there if you add new devices, right? Let's say you're scaling to another location. On a recorder, you may get rid of some of your functionality and have to operate those systems independently in some ways. You can essentially get rid of that on the cloud by simply putting everything in one single pane of glass, managing it from one place, and it just becomes a lot more seamless both for you as the dealer as well as for your end user. And then last, the golden goose, the topic of the day, generate RMR, right? Everybody understands this. I think one thing that I would call out specifically is we have a lot of flexibility around our licensing options that will help you sell to certain customers, okay? So you will have those customers that fight you on a monthly bill and they don't want a monthly bill. They don't like operational expenses. That's fine. In this case, you could actually position it as more of an upfront expense via a annual or a multi-year subscription. This has been growing pretty significantly over the past year. And so let's say you're working with a school. They have a big pile of grant money. They want to throw it at the project, be done with it, and move on. We have that option for you now. Or if you've got customers that like operational expenses, they want to roll it into a monthly and minimize the upfront investment. Obviously, we have that as well. So the key idea is flexibility. Now, very important when you get into the world of cloud that you understand the landscape because cloud is not like NVRs where for the most part, it's extremely similar with different stickers in the box. Cloud is very different. Each solution is different from the next. It can be very, cumbersome as a dealer partner to kind of keep track and keep tabs on what every little solution does well, right? So the good news is we're very differentiated right now. Chris, if you want to go to your next slide. And we're really sitting in a part of the market where not a lot of people are playing. Okay, so if you look at cloud from a budgetary standpoint, you really have two extreme ends of a spectrum. You've got what we define as budget cloud, which is typically residential DIY type products. And then on the other extreme, you've got what we call like our enterprise cloud, or the really high dollar stuff focused on the top 1% of installs. And there's kind of a gap in between those two extremes. Okay, and that's really where Cloud VS fits. So the goal is to offer commercial grade, keyword commercial grade, cloud to your customers without anything that would push them up into that big enterprise category and make it very cost prohibitive, right? And so what we're getting into a lot more now is we're running into a lot of customers that have a very real need and want to move to the cloud, but they don't need anything that would justify that big giant price tag from some of our other competitors. And so it's been a very good fit. And we're actually getting in front of a lot more of these customers saying, hey, why did you want cloud? And they'll tell us, oh, we want centralized management. We want a secure outbound connection, kind of the core list, right? And we can check those boxes and satisfy their needs without them having to go to a big enterprise level solution. Now, I think probably the most important thing that I'm going to cover today is that I kind of hit on earlier. It's intimidating to keep track of every little cloud solution, where they fit, what they do well, what they don't do well. We really want to take that load on for you as kind of a partner of yours. And so we would like to help you with this process and actually help you present to your customers, help you with live demonstrations, help you with competitive analysis. We can help you curate marketing resources. Really anything that you need to be successful with this product from A to Z, we really want to take that on for you and partner with you to go at it and win these projects, right? So like, we don't want you to feel intimidated or like you have to go learn this on your own the hard way. We very much have the repetitions down to the point where we can really kind of share with you our best practices. And then it's easy enough that you'll learn and be on and doing your own thing in no time.
It's a great point. And I'm going to jump in and reemphasize the point that Bryce just made. He oversees our cloud solutions team, right? His role is to help our dealer partners sell and win jobs. If you really want to jump into the cloud solution fray from a video security perspective, you don't know where to start, get a live demo from Bryce. If you pitch cloud on a job and you want to help selling it into the end user, reach out to Bryce and his team. They will get on the phone with you and demo the solution for end users and make sure that we're hitting the hot points, the selling points, the key pain points for those customers on that call. So leverage the resources that we've invested in to help you win more jobs with these solutions. And we'll continue to reiterate that as we roll through the presentation. So thank you, Bryce. So we've covered direct camera to cloud, right? That's that's probably the longest tenured cloud solution, like pure cloud solution that we've rolled out at Alibi. We've had that in market since 2019, just continuing to see growth and development around that. The other one is Alibi Hybrid Cloud, another great cloud-based solution that is really impactful from an RMR perspective and ties into on-premise solutions. So as I hand this over to Jessica, she'll talk a lot about how we tap into your current install base and leverage Alibi Hybrid Cloud to bring a new level of analytics and functionality to those accounts and hopefully generate RMR for you. So I'll hand it over to Jessica.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for your time today. With the Alibi Hybrid Cloud solution, it's just another form of cloud offering to your customers. Now, the admin cloud P2P server for the Alibi Vigilant that Robbie talked about in the beginning, it is integrated to our hybrid cloud solution. And we're going to talk about that in further detail here in just a moment. But it's very, very easy to do, very easy to set up, and integrates all the way around. Chris, if you'll go back one slide for me. So when we talk about Alibi Hybrid Cloud, there's three main components to this solution, which we're going to go into further detail in a moment. But what it does is it provides cloud backup storage for those traditional on-prem systems. It also offers AI-powered analytics that are going to reduce false alarms by 95%. And there is some built-in health monitoring for your key system components. Now, when we first talk about the cloud backup for the traditional on-prem systems, this is a very easy way that we can add cloud to the already existing system that your customer has. And what's great about it is the fact that you can add it for any analog system or IP system. Doesn't matter what your customer has, but this is just a great solution to add on for something that they already have. Now, when we talk about why do customers lose all of their video footage, it's mainly broken down into the fact of the equipment itself. Recorders are going to be your number one point of failure that's going to happen, whether it be that your hard drive stops working or your recorder fails for any known reason. This puts your customer into a very bad place. So with Alibi Hybrid Cloud, when it provides that cloud backup storage for that on-prem recorder, it's taking all of that existing video footage that initially stores to the recorder, pushes it up into the cloud and stores it there, making it much easier for incident retrieval in the event something were to happen. Now, unfortunately, in today's world, we're seeing that people are breaking into different types of businesses that are now stealing those actual recorders. The amount of smash and grabs continues to increase year over year. And it just puts your customer in a very bad place because now they don't have any of that video footage they were initially counting on to have. The thieves are starting to get smarter. They seem to think that if they break in after day 30 and all of that video footage is now going to be lost because most people store their video footage for those 30 days. That is now going to be a problem that's going to be fixed for your customers with the hybrid cloud, having all of that video storage up into the cloud, and it's going to be off-site. So it's going to best protect your customers all the way around, whether it's going to be that fire in the building, someone steals the recorder, or your hard drive fails. Now, when we break this down into much further components, you're going to have a full integration to your camera streams. What the hybrid cloud does is it does event-based clips that are going to store to the cloud. It's not going to require any additional hardware. So your customer can have their exact system set up exactly how they want it. They're not going to have to add hardware. They're not going to have to change cameras. We simply are going to set this up on a per camera basis for them. That's one of the great features to hybrid cloud that I really like, is the fact that your customer can choose the number of cameras that they want to add the hybrid cloud to. Again, this is going to work on any Alibi IP or HD recorders, and it's going to store that video clips for 180 days. Now, what these analytics are looking for primarily is going to be your vehicles, your people, and your bicycles. So it's going to filter out all of those false alarms by 95%, leaving your customer with the true video footage that they care about, making it much easier for that incident retrieval to be able to pull that video footage. Now, we are going to have in some more built-in system health monitoring that's going to be coming soon. So initially right now, what our health monitoring does is if the recorder fails or the cameras go down, your customer is going to receive a notification to let them know that something has happened, and we can then go back and set that connection back up. So we're not leaving your customer in a position where they no longer have video footage and they're in a mission critical place. So with this new health monitoring that's going to be coming out very soon, it's going to provide a more rounded protection, providing that hard drive status, If their stream quality is going down and it's not the strongest, it's going to have that built in. If the cameras are going to move for any known reason, they're going to be notified of that as well. So as you can see here, there is a lot more coming on that health monitoring.
Yeah, and I'll jump in here real quick, Jessica. So we've already got some health stats built into the solution, right? Our team is working on the roadmap to include all these bullet points that you see here. I believe we've got an MVP releasing with some of these checked off within the next 3 weeks. And then probably within the next month and a half, 2 months, we'll have all these things built in. So you're going to get a level of system health monitoring that is very similar to the leading health monitoring companies in the industry. And if anybody's familiar with system health and maintenance contracts, everybody probably knows AI Argus. You know, they do a great job, and they're very niche. They're very focused on one specific thing with this, which is health. Our solution is going to have a very similar, if not more robust platform to deliver a lot of the analytics and alerts around health monitoring, which is really, really, really exciting.
So before we get into these other analytics here, I did want to make mention that with the hybrid cloud, you can add this to any new install or existing install. It really fits all different types of customers for anybody that you have that out there, but you can go back to your existing install base and tell them, hey, we have this great solution to now be able to back up your system and best protect you with your video now being into the cloud. And then, of course, the whole reason of us talking about all of these solutions today is that this is going to generate very, very easy RMR. The fact that you can tack it on to just about any system that is out there, it's going to be a great solution for you, very low hanging fruit and making you more money in your pocket. Now, going back to those analytics. So we mentioned a minute ago that we're looking for vehicles, people, and bicycles to be able to reduce those 95% false alarms. Alibi Hybrid Cloud also offers additional analytics that your customer may be interested in. We can do loitering detection, we can do objects left behind, and we can even do a gun detection option as well. So this is a very rounded hybrid cloud solution for your customers. Next slide there. Yeah, perfect. So as I mentioned a minute ago, we can do other integrations as well. So while the integration for going to those Alibi Vigilant recorders is going to be very easy, it's going to be done through a P2P process. It takes you literally 2 minutes to establish that connection and immediately start providing this solution to your customers. But as you can see here on the screen, we can also do other integrations as well to other systems that are out there that are not exclusive to us. So simply find out what your customer has, let us know how we can help, but we are greatly appreciative of your time and providing you this solution.
Yeah, so I want to ask a clarifying question here that may come up just. So through Alibi Vigilant, right, we can activate the Alibi Hybrid Cloud through the P2P, which is what we recommend, right, because it's the most secure. So if somebody's just come on or is thinking about adding Alibi Vigilant to their portfolio of offerings, but they've been selling Access or Dawa, we can take that RTSP stream. I think we just need a port to be opened, right? So as long as the customer doesn't mind being a port being open on their network, we can take any of these solutions and get it run through the hybrid cloud engine and provide them with cloud backup and analytics, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right, Chris.
Great.
And again, this is very, very easy to set up and only takes a couple minutes of your time.
Great. So as everybody's thinking about RMR, right? Don't think about just your net new, right? Okay, I'm going to start doing this with new customers. We can help you through some of our marketing tools, tap into your current client base. If you've been installing on-premise for 10, 15, 5 years, whatever it is, and you think that this would be a great solution to go back and cross-sell or upsell to current customers who may have a camera or cameras on their commercial property or on their residence that they absolutely want a cloud backup for, this is an easy one to go back in and sell, right? So let us help you understand how you go back in and market to those people. We've already got email templates. We got marketing materials set up. We can help you sell this. And that leads me to the next slide, which is we've got resources in Jessica and then Alex to help you tap into selling this to new customers on new installs. But more importantly, we just brought on Alex as our kind of after point of sale activation specialist. So she is responsible for working with our dealer partners to go back in and after the install, reach out to those customers and say, hey, we can turn on a free 30-day cloud backup for you. Would you like to activate your 30-day hybrid cloud backup or hybrid cloud analytics on your solution, right? And then we give them a taste of it. And once they understand the notifications, the reduction in false alarms, the power of the platform, then we can turn that on into an RMR source for you. So again, leverage our resources. Jessica will do demos. She'll be on end user calls with you. Alex is available for that after install sales solution. Okay. So use our team. We're here to support you and generate an RMR. So slowly we're filling in this puzzle here, right? We tapped on Cloud VS and hybrid cloud. Now I'm going to turn it over to Robbie. He's going to talk about Alibi Access, right? Again, people know us for video, but we've also been selling access control and integrated video for a while as well.
Thank you. Yeah, Chris is correct. As everyone that has used us for and been a partner of ours for years, they probably remember when we owned and manufactured Infinius right here in Austin, Texas. Over the years, a couple years ago, we sold them off to Stanley, but we retained the master distributor agreement, and we retained all of the integration connectability tiebacks to Vigilant. So when you're thinking about cloud RMR, or you're thinking about Alibi RMR, Infinius, we have that ability. You know, their modules are very easy to install. Your price advantage in general when you use their product compared to other access control companies in the market. It works on all the peripherals that everybody's used to already installing, and you can come in there and just replace out the Mercury board and been put in each little module and take it over, or it can be a brand new install from the ground up with everything new. But what's really nice is, you'll go to the next slide. What's really nice is the management capabilities and your RMR capabilities. You can manage everything remotely anywhere in the world. You can even put it up into the cloud where you don't even need an on-premise server. So it's a lot like how Alibi Vigilant will turn into Alibi Cloud VS. Well, when you think about Infinius, most of our dealers that are doing 20 doors or less, they're automatically just moving that straight to cloud, not having a server. It ties back with video verification with our stuff. If you start putting in more than 20 doors, which, you know, 100, 200, 300 doors, typically you'll see them have a server on site. Our cameras integrate with the Infinius video server as well when you start putting stuff on site, and you get the integration to it as well. So even on our access control partners, we give you RMR or a path to RMR. And when you think about that 20 doors or less, most of our dealers, that's their bread and butter when they're doing access control. You know, it's nice to have, you know, win the large project, you know, the 200 door location. But more often than not in commercial and mid-market, you're doing 20 doors or less. And we have dealers that their whole business is predicated on, you know, Vigilant cameras to Cloud VS or Vigilant cameras to hybrid, and 20 door or less access control jobs that's RMR. So everything about a lot of our dealers' companies is predicated on being completely recession-proof, which is pretty powerful in today's market to have such an end-to-end solution capability.
Yeah, and I think you can probably talk to the dealer partners that you work with, Robbie, that install Infinius, right? Because it's not one of the bigger access control solutions out there, but every dealer I've talked to that has really jumped on the Infinius bandwagon just talks about ease of install and ease of use. Once they learn it, right? And they overcome, obviously there's a learning curve with anything, right? There's a learning curve with video security, but once they get past the learning curve, they love it because of the simplicity, right?
Oh, for sure. And the cost savings. So you remember when Bryce was talking about Alibi Cloud VS, it's camera to switch, switch is PoE, set it and forget it. Infineous is a lot like that. So it's switch module, access control module to switch. The switch powers it. That powers all the peripherals. And you can hook it straight to cloud and control everything, all the setup straight to cloud. And it's really, really simple to use. It also gives you things that everybody kind of wants, like, not having to have key fobs. You can use your phone to get in, and all the other features like school lockdown, and maybe you have a gun scenario and you want to lock down. It has that one button push and every door in that whole campus locks down. So it's future proofed. And when you think about Infineous, it infers infinite. So it could be one door, it could be 1,000 doors in multiple locations. It can scale up and down. And when you think about RMR, that 20 door and less is the real sweet spot that our dealers, are really finding success in.
Yeah. So if anybody, again, this is all about us supporting our dealer and integrated partners. If anybody wants to learn more about Infineous, if you want a live demo, get in touch with your account manager, get in touch with Robbie, and we can get in touch with Richard Rayo, who is local in Austin. We're based in Austin. He's in Austin. He's at our headquarters, every month or so. We can set up a demo so he can walk you through the solution and how powerful this can be to turn into RMR for you. Okay. Next, not last, but next, we're going to talk about retail loss prevention. This is one of our newer solutions, and it's a similar story to our Access. And I'll let Robbie kind of talk about Digiop Carbon.
Thanks. Yeah. So when you think about loss prevention or point of sale integration, most people think about it's just grabbing the receipt from the cash register and doing an overlay. And we have that on Alibi Vigilant. It's a basic overlay, but that's not what Digiop is. So Digiop is a full loss prevention solution. It uses our cameras and recorder, and it has a secondary box that grabs the integration from all the point of sale cash registers and our box, and it puts it to the cloud. Now what it does is really, really neat, and it's powerful. So it'll start looking at a host of different algorithms and the video content, and it'll measure against, maybe you have a 50-site rollout. It's looking at all the different employees that are touching the cash registers, and it'll start to see averages of all the different types of transactions. And then it'll start to see the outliers on the bell curve. And as it's seeing those, it'll start to look for known issues or predictive issues through those algorithms, and start to grab video clips out in transactions and feed that in live reporting to the loss prevention manager, to where they're not searching on the cameras for a needle in the haystack on issue. They're being directed to, everybody's doing it one way, this person's doing it different, and this is a known shrinkage issue. Please verify these clips. As the loss prevention manager is doing that, he's literally working in the portal CRM and verifying good or bad, putting notes in, escalating it up their business, and using it maybe for an education with that location's employees, or maybe taking corrective action, for maybe if they're stealing, for example, which we find often. So it's kind of opposite when you think about just the basic recording the receipt ticker tape overlay. Like, it's not that. It's very robust. It's very helpful to companies, and when you see it in work, it's powerful. It really is powerful, and it ties in with Alibi Vigilant. So you're already selling the same camera solution. If you'll go to the next slide, you're just adding in this middle component and able to push everything up to the cloud. And the way the reports work, detailed, easy to understand, very you can program them and adjust and swizzle them for any type of company and their needs. It's really hard to just put into words, in a 2-minute window, but I hope that helps.
Yeah, and then I'll add on again. I'm the dumb marketing guy, but I've watched the solution in action, right? And when you talk about retail operations, it's overwhelming. They have so many different data points they have to look at in order to make sure that they're controlling operational expenses, right? And Carbon distills those down to exception-based reporting. So literally, it will highlight a transaction that's out of the normal range, put that on a report, and the retail operations or the loss prevention person can literally go in and double click on that transaction. It pulls it up in a window with an associated video clip, right? And they can verify, okay, well, there actually was a customer at the register during that transaction, right? It looks like there might not have been because it's, an exception-based transaction, but they can quickly video verify that that is not a shrinkage issue, not an operational training issue. It gives them insights into promotional activity, cross-selling activity. And to Robbie's point, it's much more than just the data overlay on video. So it's really something that's super powerful once you dive into it and you actually see it in action.
Yeah, for sure. If you'll go to the next slide, Chris. When you think about Digiop and places they've been, they've integrated a lot, and they're in huge nationwide rollouts. So when you're going in, you're wanting to win the business, contact us. We have Jim Close and Leah. They will do the demos. They will help set you up for success. But moreover, they'll be able to talk to your customer, and we'll be able to show real life use case scenarios from big companies that, prove it's just not all talk. It's like, yeah, these other companies are doing it. Here's how they do it. Here's the amount of shrinkage they caught in the first 6 months. I mean, it's really, really powerful. And all you have to do is lean on us, right? And say, hey, I've got this opportunity. Can you help me engage the customer? And we help you from there, and we walk it all the way to the end. Last, Digiop won a nationwide deal with all the ACE hardwares in the country. We have dealers all across the country engaging in all the different franchises, and we're Digiop is their exclusive channel partner with all the ACE hardwares. So not only does this give you RMR opportunity, but if you're looking for leads and places to go where we need, I mean, I don't know how many ACE hardware locations there are, but it's thousands. I mean, it's a bunch.
There's that many.
Yeah. So, what I'll end with is just please reach out to us. We have these leads. We also have the RMR streams that helps our customers, you and your customer, and it's really feature rich on every single one of the solutions.
All right, so we've kind of almost completed the puzzle. Now the last piece is Immix. So video verification and remote guarding is a super hot topic, right? Operationally, a lot of companies are trying to figure out how they reduce their physical guarding presence, their physical staffing requirements from a security perspective. And with the latest technology, right, video verification and remote guarding is really, really powerful. And the Alibi Cloud VS ties into that with our reduction in false alarms. But we've got some really cool developments from an Immix perspective. If you're familiar with central stations, if you're really targeting this as a growth opportunity within your business, Robbie will talk a little bit about some of the integrations that we have coming down the pipe from an Immix perspective.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so most of our CCTV competitors have integrated with Immix, and our Alibi Vigilant, we did the same, not anything different than a lot of our competitors. But over the last 18 months, we've decided to really help our dealers based off of feedback from them. So our Immix integration is not just for video verification. So video verification has been around for a while, and it means, alarm goes off and they verify that the door was kicked in by a person, and then the central monitoring station is now going to contact the police, and with that video verification, hope that the police drive faster to the scene of the crime. That's not what we think about based off of our feedback from our dealers. So we've taken all three of our lines and we've integrated in not just the connectability to the Immix, the back-end software to all the central monitoring stations, but we've integrated in the schedules, the human and car analytics, the gun analytics, all of the smart analytics that reduce down false positives so that you can actually go in and have interactive guard monitoring from your central station, and they can prevent crime. They can reduce the problem. For example, most companies that are larger, they'll want a guard, so think of car dealerships, right? As an example, they'll want a guard, but the cost of a guard is $6,000 to $12,000 a month, and that doesn't always cover payroll tax, insurance, and all the other costs that a business is going to have to incur during that employment of that person. Well, we can reduce that cost by taking some of that on-site guarding away, and then for example, at night when no one's supposed to be around, it's looking for human and car. Human and car comes up, it's 95% accurate. It pops up in the central monitoring station in real time. Now they are doing a talk down service through the IPPA speaker that integrates into our Vigilant or all of our systems. And they're saying, hello, gentleman in the hoodie. Yes, you're trespassing. We've contacted the authorities. They're on their way. You need to leave right now. Oh, by the way, we're getting some great video footage of you. So they can literally deter the crime before it happens in real time, and it saves your customer money. It's typically like 30 cents on the dollar for that type of option versus a guard. And it becomes real powerful. It adds an RMR stream, and it's really beneficial to your customer base. We've also seen this integration because we've done it up and down on cloud and hybrid and our on-prem. Like we do a Wendy's rollout. Maybe the franchise owns 30 Wendy's. Some of them are in less desirable crime-ridden neighborhoods. Well, the central monitoring station's monitoring all the locations. They'll come on and say, we're doing a test of the video monitoring security solution provided by XYZ owners. And then while we are doing that, know that you are being protected, and we have a 99-cent shake on sale for the next hour, provided by them or something like that. And we're finding success past just, typical guard ones, but, and huge franchises where they're trying to add protection and safety to their customer base. So if you want to know more about that, or if you want to get more information, just contact your account manager. We're more than welcome to do a demo. We can actually provide everything from start to finish around this. It's really, really powerful. Chris?
Yeah, thanks, Robbie. So, in summary, before we get to Q&A, I hope through this session today, you guys see that we're much more than just an on-premise provider, right? We are a technology solutions provider. We're investing in the right people, the right support, and the right technologies. Really, what we believe are really innovative, applicable technologies that can help you grow your business, right? If you're not tapping into RMR right now, you're missing out. If you're in Firenberg and you understand the RMR business, but you want to understand how to grow the video surveillance part of your business and tap into it from an RMR perspective, we are here to help you. We work with a lot of Firenberg and alarm guys and gals that have a base of video security, video surveillance business that they fundamentally want to grow. Actually, it's with a lot of our dealer partners, one of the bigger areas of opportunity, especially with all the recent changes and innovation that's kind of flooded into this part of the security market. We are here to help you. Contact your account manager, contact Bryce, contact Jessica. Let us know what you're struggling with. Let us know what additional resources you need in order to support the growth of RMR in your business. And right now, we don't have any Q&As because I think you guys did such an exceptional job on answering a lot of the questions. Again, a lot of information really, really quick. I will plug our YouTube channel. Go out there. We're always adding new content. A lot of the content that we're adding is around these new solutions, how they work, how they can help you grow your business, right? There's a lot of technical stuff in some of the webinars that we posted in the past about going into the Alibi Hybrid Cloud UI and understanding how you view alerts, how you retrieve footage, Alibi Cloud VS, the management capabilities within Alibi Cloud VS, and how you can, remotely upgrade systems, how you can troubleshoot cameras, just how you can add users, stuff like that. It's all on our YouTube channel. It's an invaluable resource. If you're not subscribed, go out to the channel, subscribe. You'll get and hit the little bell, and you get alerted when we upload new videos. Okay, our account managers are always available. Give us a call. Let us know what questions you have. Let us know when we can help out with customer demos. Let us know what resources we can provide to you. We're here because we fundamentally believe that when you're successful, we're successful. That's the mantra we operate this company by. That's why all these people are not on the phone selling right now, because we want to make sure you guys, gals, understand the solutions and know that we're here with really cool new solutions to help you grow your business. So with that, thank you very much. We're coming in right underneath the hour mark, which is awesome. We appreciate your time. We know your time's super valuable. You could be doing a lot of other stuff. Thanks for spending it with Alibi Security, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next live webinar series. Thanks, Alibi team. Appreciate you guys.